Hey, good morning. All right, so now let's see. I've got to get my friend Paul Thompson on here. I am in Costa Rica right now, and I will be talking with my friend Paul, who is in Bali. So, hey, Paul. Paul's here. Okay, so, all right. Okay. All right, Paul. All right, it says that it's adding you. So, Paul and I are going to have a conversation about taking action steps towards. Hey, Paul.
Hey, hey, Yum.
Good evening, Paul.
Good evening. All right.
It's like 10. Is
Nine.
it 10 o'clock in Bali?
9 o'clock. Not that late yet, so we're
Okay.
getting there. I'm just trying to
Okay.
smooth out this phone situation here a little bit. All right. We're cooking with gas.
Yeah,
How
that's always a trick.
how are you?
Yeah, well, it's only 7 o'clock here, so I'm awake.
Nice.
I'm ready to go,
Bright and
ready to
early
do
in the
this.
morning, right? That's a good spot to be in.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's still a little bit chilly here,
Hmm.
but because it's morning, but it's still like 60s, low
Yeah,
60s,
right.
maybe.
I'm not sure what that
Well,
is in
I
Fahrenheit
think that's
or
like
still.
16.
Oh, that's
I think
chilly.
that's 16.
Yeah, that's good. That's like half the temperature
Yeah,
of Bali.
it's chilly, but it's it will be in the mid 70s today, and it's like beautiful sunny day out today. You can see the reflection
Yeah, yeah.
in the window behind me.
Looks amazing.
Um, but yeah, it'll be perfect. So, okay, well, I wanted to have you on to talk about because I think it's so cool that you and I have connected and that we can have this conversation while you're in Bali, but you are actually from Australia and I am in Costa Rica and I'm from the United States. Now our situations are a little bit different in that you straight up live in Bali,
Yep,
right?
yep. Permanent base in
Okay.
Bali.
And I and I'm here for a shorter period of time.
Yep.
So a little bit different, but still it occurred to me that around my roadmap to your success program that I have, that one of the big modules in that, or one of the elements of one of the modules, is all about taking action.
Hmm.
And I think that really trips people up and kind of freezes them. And
Mm.
so it occurred to me that I have made this trip or this experience, this living here for, being here for an extended period, a reality in my life. And you have obviously made living in Bali a reality in your life.
Mm.
So we had to take action steps. We had to actually make that happen, not just, put it out into the universe kind of thing. So I wanted to talk to you about that.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy how it all plans out, you know. If I had been looking back on my life 3, 4, 5 years ago, I would have never have imagined that I'd be living in, tropical paradise, running a, big company, and like, yeah, just wouldn't even have considered it. And now that I'm here, I just feel really content, really at peace with it. And yeah, it's a really beautiful lifestyle. So I'm really enjoying it.
What made you, or back up to when you were in Australia, what were you doing there?
So very early on, straight out of high school, I went to university and I studied education. And I grew up in a really tiny, small town. And then I went to the big city to study education. And then went back to my tiny little village and started teaching in schools there. And I loved it. I taught for like 7 years, and was on track to become a school principal. Actually, they were going to give me a little primary school with these beautiful little kids, probably only
Wow.
maybe 100 kids, 120 kids. And I was all the way in on the interview process. So we had where I was going to live. They were going to give me a house. I had a car. Like it was the real deal. Here's your school. You know, you're going to get this. And at that same time, I was really deep into tech and putting technology into education and into schools. And I would teach, run conferences and speak at events on behalf of Google and Microsoft in education, and trying to empower teachers, bringing in laptops, right, in classrooms. And then I stumbled across this tool. It was a social media scheduling tool called Buffer, and they had these roles, these jobs that they were applying for. And I remember reading inside the app, they said we're hiring, and it was just really serendipitous. You know, I just kind of saw the button. I was like, what is it? You know, kind of clicked on it and was completely blown away, because I started reading the page and I was like, wow, they give me a laptop. They pay me more than what I'm going to get as a teacher. I can travel from anywhere. I can have unlimited paid vacation. They're going to give me every book that I could ever want. They pay all my healthcare. Like, it was just this crazy
unlimited paid vacation.
Yeah. There was a problem with that though, because no one took the vacation. So then they had to change it, right? It was unlimited paid vacation, and then no one took vacation because the job was that good, right? We could have as much time off as we wanted. Yeah, and I remember very early on, there was even some employees that took sabbaticals, right? They just took off for 3 to 6 months and then came back to their jobs just to sail a yacht around Europe, like just crazy stuff. And so I ended up applying for this job. I don't know why. I kind of was a little bit intrigued by it and liked the excitement. And so I applied for the job and got it, and had to make a choice whether I was going to go and work for this company or whether I was going to stay in school. And I was given the opportunity by the leadership teams and like the district, you know, head office, that said, we'll give you 12 months to try it. You know, 12 months. And then if it doesn't work out, if you don't like it, if you want to go back, then let us know and we will gladly have you back. Like, we're waiting with open arms. And that was all I needed. And then I never looked back. You know, I miss it. I miss the school. I miss the kids. I miss the teaching. But yeah, the rest has just been history.
Interesting. And so, I'm sorry, that was how long ago that you stepped out of that?
That was about 3 years ago now. Yeah. Probably like 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your life has completely changed in a pretty small amount of time.
Yeah. Actually, I think it's even less. I think I was working for Buffer. I don't know why I said 3 years. It just feels like ages. Julie, I think it was only like a year, maybe, or a year and a half, since December 2017.
Wow.
No, what was last year? 2018. Yeah, so December 2017 was when I left Buffer. And that's right. I remember you might have seen on my Facebook on the weekend, I wrote a post. It was 11,111 days yesterday that I've been on the planet, right? That's where that came from, because I was actually just trying to work out how many days since Buffer. And I remember calculating the percentage of days versus how long I've been alive. And I came to this number. I was like, what is going on? How would you be? Like, of all the days that you would check the statistic on that, it landed on that day, 11,111 days on the planet yesterday. So just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So quite.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Quite a sign.
So why did you end up then deciding to move to Bali? And then what were the steps that you needed to actually take? How did you, like, was there hesitation? Were you nervous? Did you second guess your decisions?
Oh, yeah, 100%, right? Because originally, you know, I came from an environment and family environment that's very brick and mortar business, you know, work hard. My dad's been in the same job for well over 50 years. He's been in the same job, owned the company, sold the company, still in the same job, right? And so we have a very traditional background. And so leaving that to go into an environment where I was working online, where I was earning money, I remember for the first few weeks or months of working with Buffer, Dad still thought it was some kind of, you know, internet scam. You know, he's like, how are you getting money off the internet? This is from the man who used, you know, an ATM for the first time 3 years ago. He's like, how are you getting money? Like, what do you actually do? And it's taken a long time for...
Oh, that's far too cute.
I know, I love him. So it's taken a long time for my family and friends to come around to understand exactly what I do. And now it's completely full circle. Now, because of the risks, the mitigated risks that I took, you know, the steps that I took to try to explore these new pathways, to put myself out there, to, you know, just push the boundaries of what I thought was possible for me for all those years. Because of that, and then succeeding at those points, now I have people who are asking me, you know, from back home, they're like, how do you do it? Like, how can I get into it? I have family saying like, oh, I want to quit my job. Like, how can you help me do this? And it's just really surreal, right? Coming that full circle and being able to present back to them and say, hey, you know, it is possible to step out of that comfort zone and to take those risks with, you know, your support, my own support, my own backing, my own kind of courage to really just trust in the process, right? Trust that I'm making the right decisions, that I'm always kind of going towards some kind of North Star or guiding point, and making sure that I'm living the most fulfilling life that I possibly can be. I think you can't really go wrong with that. You know, there's not too much I can do wrong if I'm only doing what makes me fulfilled, and my close like connections, like family and friends and things like that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Now, I don't know how much of your family was all stressed out about this transition. I went through that when 10 plus years ago when I started my organizing business. I went through that because I had that same experience. So you have, and I was the first one I'm the oldest grandchild, and I am the first one in the family to go to undergrad
Well,
and get a college degree. And so, and then I had a baby in the middle of that, and so that furthered that was like that nail in the coffin that, oh, you have to now go get a corporate job so you have security and you know, a pension or a 401k
yeah,
and health insurance and all of those things. And
yeah,
so, you know, 10 whatever years later, when I decided to step out of that, I went through that same thing where, and you can just feel that energy from your family
yeah,
going, oh my God, they're gonna fail.
yeah,
I better stop spending money because I'm gonna have to bail them out.
yeah.
But I know I found support for my, you know,
Mm,
continuing to take my action steps towards starting my business back then, as well as all of the steps along the way to growing it to what it is. I found support from other like-minded people.
mm.
Now my family does support me and has seen the change and whatever, you know, kind of like your family. But where did you find that support? Did you feel that you needed that support, or were you just like, I don't care, I'm on a mission, I'm doing this?
Hey Julie, are you there?
Okay,
Sorry, it
yep.
just dropped out there. I heard you say one question about what support
Okay.
from the families, was it? What support?
Where what support did you have
Mm,
along the way, or did you just kind of charge ahead just knowing I'm on a mission, this is
sure,
what I'm doing, this
sure.
is right?
That's a really good question, and I think originally I was always a little bit defensive when family or friends, you know, colleagues would try and pull me back or say, "Hey, look, don't do this. This is too risky. Like, just keep your normal job."
Yeah.
Really, that was just deep love, right? They were just really caring for me, and they wanted the best for me. They didn't want me to be in a situation where you know, where I was in danger, or like, yeah, not danger, but like where I couldn't live or eat or whatever it was. So
Yeah.
I kind of get that now,
Yeah.
in what was happening there. And in terms of the support, there was always I always just had really open, transparent conversations with my family, and I would just say, "Hey, this is what I'm thinking of doing," and I would give them a plan. I would give them a strategy, a rollout. I'd say, "This is going to be really important. Let's test it out." And that was like my first trip to Bali, was just to test if it works, right? To test if I could actually go out there and live abroad, away from family, and kind of move through that space. And that really helped, segmenting it down, not like a big leap of faith, like, oh well, Paul's gone, that was my son that eventually just disappeared. So and having, like, mitigating their anxiety a little bit and giving them some check-in points and letting them know I'm just going for a month and then I'll come back and we'll see how that went.
Hmm.
And so being able to do that
Yeah.
at each level, with friends and family and things like that, has been really important. And I couldn't have done it without their support. I did a big write-up in a feature just recently in a magazine, and one of the questions was, I don't even remember the question, but my response just came so naturally, and I remember just putting this whole onus on family and support and connections, because I definitely just would not be here today without the people that have cared for me and loved me and supported me and showed me the path. And I find that people are really quick to discredit that, or not discredit, whether they know it consciously or subconsciously. They kind of move past that, and I feel a lot of gratitude for that, and I really, really appreciate everyone who's kind of put themselves out there for me to be able to kind of step along that process. And I think just naturally, that's exactly what I feel myself doing now for people who are coming to me. I kind of give as much support as I can and kind of be as encouraging and guiding to help people go along a similar journey to me. And it's kind of like passing the baton. It's handing it on, like, all right, you're the next one. Let's go. Let's do it. There is this huge progression at the moment with people leaving the what do you call it? Just like the corporate environment, right? The working in the office or
Hmm.
in those kind of business models, now cracking into the online space. My parents were brought up in a very different time. We didn't even have the internet when they were born. That business is totally different. But just in last year alone, if a 7-year-old boy can be the highest paid YouTube influencer on the planet, right? Into the millions or maybe even billions or something like that, right? Then business is different. It's changing. It's that there is no
Hmm.
model. There is nothing that mom and dad can tell me that's going to affect how I
Yeah.
do business, right? So while I can care for them
Yeah.
and take on their opinion, it's more just you've got to just really trust in the process of you going out and fulfilling what you want, building the life that you want, building the business that is going to support that lifestyle, whatever it might be. For me, it's I want to sip on coconuts in Bali, and I want to go train, and I want to ride motorbikes, and I want to walk along the beach, and I want to work alongside entrepreneurs. Like that's what I want. And so I'm building a business that will support me in that. And so far, it's working out pretty good.
Yeah, that's outstanding. I love how many big points you just touched on in that too. You touched about gratitude,
Mm,
and I mean gratitude. I did a live. I think it was day one of this mini roadmap series. I talked about gratitude and how it's so foundational,
mm,
and because what you put out is what you get back, and if you
mm.
put out being irritated, you're going to get irritation back to
Yep,
validate that.
yep,
And I think that gratitude and coming from that place of gratitude allows you to get more support as well as to be there to genuinely support other people. So I
yeah,
love that. But I also love that you owned your truth and you knew what it was and you stuck to it. And you were able to stick to it by having honest, open
mm,
conversations and just really standing your ground. Because I feel like so many of my coaching clients and even you know organizing a retreat clients too, like everyone struggles with, well, I know that they're going to be upset, and then they just drag that on
yeah.
and let that be an excuse to stop them from taking action. So I love how you approach
It's
that.
because it's safer to abdicate responsibility there, right? It's safer to put that responsibility on someone else. Like,
Yeah.
oh, they probably might not possibly think that this is a good idea, so I'm just not going to do it. And you're like, well, that's a really easy thing to
Hmm.
say, right? To just put it on someone else.
Yeah.
Um, one thing I wanted to touch on, what did you brought up about the gratitude? Maybe it was.
Hmm.
yeah, I just think it's really important to recognize those feelings and really push them forward, because it's hard, it's impossible, right, to be gracious and also like, anxious and frustrated and angry at the same time, right? So if I hit
Yeah.
hurdles in business, if I fall into a rut, if I have some of those bad mindset days where I'm just like, I'm just gonna sell the business, like I'm done, I'm quitting, right? And so every entrepreneur at some stage has those days. They're just like, no, I'm just going to throw the laptop in the ocean and pretend it doesn't exist, right? So at those
Or
points,
all in one day
or yeah,
too, every day.
yeah, it's like a roller coaster, right? You wake up, you're like, this is really great, I'm having the best day possible, and then by 10:30, you're like, sell my laptop, actually take my laptop, like I don't even want it. And so being able to be grateful in those situations and just putting into perspective, what it is that you have accomplished up until this point, what it is that you have already at your fingertips, at your disposal, what's been given to you day in, day out, the friends, the connections, the people you meet, the business, the money in your bank account, the roof over your head, the hot shower, the food, right? So like just all of those
Yeah.
pieces, we skip it so many times. I remember early on in my entrepreneurial journey, I had literally no money. I was so broke. I could only afford to stay in a hostel with cold showers, and I was eating mee goreng, and it was just like noodles and chicken for I don't know. I think it was like $1.50. Like it was just sketchy. It came out of off the back of a motorbike on the side of a street. I don't even know what it was, but it was the only meal that I could afford over thing, because I just didn't know when money was going to come back in. I just couldn't get it. I couldn't work it out, and I knew that I just had to kind of push through it, because I understood my value. I knew what I could contribute. I just didn't have the tools to get that message out there. I didn't have the capacity or the knowledge to be able to push that out there and bring other people on and provide value to them in a way that's going to kind of reciprocate for me. Uh, and then one other thing you mentioned before was about knowing your truth and things like that. It's really weird, and I've only just discovered this. I don't know if I've ever really told anyone, but people used to say like, oh, you've got to know your life purpose, right? Like, what is it that makes you tick and drives you, and yeah, what are you going to go after and build and all those kind of things. And I used to sit bewildered and think, I don't know, I have no idea what I actually want and like what drives me. But on reflecting back, and this came really through some deep journaling over a long period of time, in reflecting back, I have always been in a position where I am teaching or leading, right? Or pulling people along with me.
Hmm.
Even as a young kid, I was always the coach that was just a couple of years older that was coaching the little kids. I was like running teams. I was like refereeing. Then when I got into my retail jobs when I was younger, I was always in the supervisor and the managing. So like helping like run the place. Then into teaching, of course, I
Yeah.
went into education, right? So I'm teaching in classrooms. But as if that wasn't enough for me, the universe is like, no, like, why stop at a classroom? Just go to a school, right? Like, just now go to all schools. Let's just start putting like technology in education. And it just has kept on going. And I've
Yeah.
never really put my thumb on it to now, but it has just been someone that's just able to impart wisdom, and encourage and bring people on, teach them, guide them. That's something it's been a common theme, and I never realized it. And so now I genuinely do believe that in some capacity, my purpose, the reason I'm here, is to be able to teach, right? To be able to upskill people and up level them, and that brings
Yeah.
me a lot of comfort. I like that. So now everything that I do in the business and in my businesses, both kind of sides, is about that up leveling and upskilling people along the way. And that's something that I really enjoy. It gives me a lot of fulfillment.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah. It, I did that deep work too when I left my corporate world, and I left abruptly without a
Mm,
plan,
yeah,
and luckily I had severance for
yeah,
a few months, so I had that little bit of a buffer. But I'm like, I am not going back. I
yeah,
literally shipped my computer back because that's how much I was not going back, and I'm like, what the hell? What am
yeah.
I going to
What do I
do?
do?
And then I picked apart
Yeah.
I did that same type of work, and I got to, yeah, I came from a financial analyst role, but it
Mm,
was really more of a business analyst role. So I was into the projects, and I was designing screen layouts and report layouts, and I was training the sales force on how to get their numbers that they needed,
Mm.
and dealing with barely knowing how to send an email to an Excel geek,
Yeah,
and so
yeah,
you have to cater to all those
yeah.
different styles and have compassion and understanding for where they are and
Mm.
meeting them where they are. And so it actually was completely logical that I
Yeah,
became a professional organizer right out of the gate,
yeah,
because it was just organizing a different thing, and I was still meeting people at where they were
sure.
and giving them that space
Mm.
and guidance. So I think it's so important, because then you go, wait, now I've been haphazardly doing all of this for so many years, but you don't realize that until you actually spend the time to do that
Mm.
work. And then once you pinpoint that, then it's like you can lock on where you are going, and
Mm.
feel a deeper sense of gratitude for what you're doing, because you have that deeper sense of purpose behind what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. And
It's like
and
articulating what you've always been doing.
Yep, yep. And but just yeah, being able to map it out, right? Articulate, put words to it, give it a structure. So that happens a lot when I work with my clients who want to create a course and they're like, oh, I don't really know what course to create, or I don't even know how to get started. And for my very
Yeah.
early in the process clients who might not have the business kind of set out yet, that's exactly where we go to. You know, what is it that lights you up? What is your calling? Like what skills do you have?
Hmm.
What can you contribute? There used to be a little thing that I did. I don't know. I've probably got some posts about it. I might even do a video about it. But it was what do people ask you for help with? You know, and so people ask me
Oh,
for
yep.
help all the time. What skills have you had from previous jobs and positions and things like that? And then what are your hobbies, maybe? It was like the three things, right? And so if you have an amalgamation of those three
Hmm.
things, it's said to be this like holy grail of what you do. And or
Yeah.
what you can contribute in an information product, right? In something like a course or a program or coaching or teaching or something like that. And it's so true. Like it happens, when you think about all the jobs you've had, what are the skill sets you've accumulated? When you think about the hobbies and things like that, you think about, oh yeah, I'm a little bit nerdy, or I really like books and reading or writing, painting, whatever it is. And then the third one is like, what do people ask me for help with? And that's always a tricky one because you don't always recognize what people ask us for help with because it happens all the time, right? And you're just like, oh, I didn't even
Yeah.
realize that someone asked me for that all the time. Yeah, for me, growing up,
Moving.
it was always the tech stuff. They're like, I can't open my laptop.
Yeah. Oh,
Help
yep.
me, Paul. I'm like, oh, I don't know, what's the laptop, and so I didn't put two and two together. I didn't know I was like a tech support warrior until I realized, hey, people have asked me this all the time. They're like, this tech guy, and that's Paul. I will ask him.
Yeah. That's great. I love that. Yeah, I'm so excited about this 8 module roadmap to your success program that I have, because it really there is a module where we really get into uncovering that truth.
Mm,
And I mean that's where that whole roadmap came from, in that the title of the program is like following these steps to get clear on what it is that you want and where you're even going. I think yesterday I had a post about, if you're not clear on where you're going, then how are you ever going to get there,
yeah,
basically?
right. Yeah. How do you
And
know
so
what
rather than
direction you're
just
heading
kind of
in?
wandering aimlessly,
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
I love that. I love that you help your clients with that too. It's just crazy how, the gratitude thing, that conversation, and then mixed with a couple posts that I've seen recently. One was someone talking about how they struggle to accept a compliment, and
Mm,
they give other compliments. Well, first, this other post was about how to give a compliment about a non-appearance related thing. I like your
okay.
sweater. You look
Yeah,
great today. Whatever.
yeah.
How to give a non appearance related,
Mm,
because I think that's what we're conditioned to do.
yeah.
And so then this woman was commenting about how she gives those non appearance related compliments and is very intentional about it, but she doesn't she doesn't necessarily know how to take a compliment because we get all awkward and,
Yeah, yeah.
oh yeah,
Dismiss
oh
it
this,
straight away. You're like,
even with the
oh,
sweater, oh this whole thing,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I I feel like that's kind of connected to a lot of what we're talking about, in that that's just a mindset, and it's just the conditioning that we have witnessed growing up, where we hear, oh, you look so cute, and all of these physical related
Mm,
things, and I think that we're with the shift in people really recognizing how important it is to recognize gratitude and
mm,
being grateful for what you have. I think that's that shift from the constant pursuit,
mm.
and just working for, because that's what you're supposed to do, and this is good enough. You don't need to be happy, kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. And I see that happening so often, right? It's just becoming more. Everyone's becoming more aware of it, and they're implementing it more and
Yeah,
utilizing
thank
the.
goodness.
Yeah, right. I'm grateful that they are. Not to be a pun on words there. Yeah.
Yeah, I am grateful too. Well, it's about 9:35 your time, so I'll let you go wrap this up and unwind for the night. Before I do that, though, I want to say thank you to you. Thanks for doing this so late. I mean, obviously we have a little challenge with the scheduling, um, with all of our communications, but I really appreciate that, and all of the support you've given me. And I want to mention that the waitlist is still open to get all of the bonuses for my awesome, awesome new course, The Roadmap to Your Success. And I think it's open until Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday. So jump on. Just message down below, or send me a private message, send me emoji, whatever. And how about gratitude? Post the word gratitude down below.
Mm.
And even though that was not technically the theme for today, and I'll drop you the link for all the details, and sign up on the wait list. And I think that that's about it.
Yeah, I think that I mean, if I could do it again and I had a course or something that would just guide me through that whole process, it would have helped me a lot. You know, it would have just I would have saved a lot of heartache, a lot of missteps, a lot of my own internal mindset battles. Am I doing the right thing? Am I not doing the right thing? Feeling guilty about leaving family, about should I have stayed? Should I have gone? Am I doing the right
Yeah.
thing? Am I earning money? Like, is it going to come back? You're like, it's just, there's just so much that goes into it. It's not as easy as, for me, it wasn't as simple as just, oh, I'm just going to up and leave and then just going to work it out when I get there. For me, it was
Yeah.
a lot more calculated. And if I have had a resource, like your course to push me through that, and just let me know what's coming up at each step. What's around the corner. Hey, you're probably going to feel like this, or this is really common to be second guessing, or to have friends that are going to like just question you and want to worry about you. And if I'd have geez, I wish I was journaling during that time. That would have been so helpful.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have had a gratitude practice. Like, just so many things that have now made my life a lot more, not livable, but more like just more valuable. I don't know. I just have a lot more of a sense of groundedness and just, yeah, gratitude and excitement to what I am living. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, I can see that there is so much value in a course like this that will be yeah, it really will be kind of transformational for someone who is going to jump into this path.
Yeah, and even if they're not going to go on to become an entrepreneur, it's like that doesn't matter. Or move to Bali
Yeah.
or Costa Rica or wherever. It's like whatever. And I fully agree with you. It took me it That's why I didn't add coaching as a
Mm,
standalone business until much later, is because I needed to finish processing my
mm,
stuff coming out of that corporate world, the behaviors, the habits, the beliefs, all of that. I had to fully detox, and I knew I wasn't going back, but I didn't necessarily know what the right direction was.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what this program is all about, cutting to the chase, really getting through that and helping you figure all of those things out so that you're not like stumbling for so long.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
For
I
sure.
love it. It's based on what I've done. It's based on work I've done with my clients. It's based on work, the Jack Canfield success principles. It's just kind of all commingled. So it's really valuable, very valuable stuff.
That's awesome. That's so good.
So thank you so much for your time.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I love chatting. It's always good. So yeah, it was fun. Thank you so much for the invite. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah, and go rest or whatever. It's Monday night,
Monday.
so I
Yep.
assume you're not gonna be too crazy tonight.
No, no. Be gone. Rest up tonight.
Oh, but wait, I need to know one thing about Bali. Do they have salsa dancing there?
Yeah, they do. Yep. There's a few different salsa
Okay.
clubs. There's one every Sunday. They throw on a big like salsa party to kind of invite people who want to try it out and test it. And I think Wednesday night is more of the pros just going salsa
Okay.
away. But yeah, Sunday's like you get elbowed and like kicked in the shins. But Wednesday's good.
Okay. All right. So that's good information for what I'm thinking about.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna post the picture later of you and Meg too
Oh,
and tell
nice.
the story about that.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
That's
Yeah,
just the craziest story. I love that
serendipity.
story. So
Crazy.
yeah,
Awesome.
awesome. Well, thank you so much again and have a good rest of your night.
Will
And
do.
I'm gonna go get some coffee and start my day.
Nice. Awesome. All right. Thanks. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Okay. All right. Bye bye.
Bye.